What's going on, guys? Riley here. Today we are reviewing this 2018 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. As many of you know, I owned this car's little brother previously, which was the SS1LE model, which essentially is this car without the supercharger. So today we're going to find out just how much fun that supercharger adds, as well as a few other goodies. First, we'll do a quick walk around of the car, starting off with the front end, which honestly is probably one of the most aggressive front ends on any vehicle available. You get the nice Goodyear Eagle F1 supercar tires and the 6-piston Brembo brakes. This one is also optioned with the mosaic black paint color, which, as you can see, has the nice little glittery flakes in it, as well as the carbon fiber weave on the hood. Moving on now to the rear of the vehicle, once again looking really nice on the ZL1. 305 width tires and quad exhaust tips are standard, but overall I really don't think there's a bad angle on this car. Now, exterior styling is great and all, however, you buy a ZL1 for this right here. This supercharged LT4 6.2 liter V8, 650 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque. That is good for 0 to 60s around 3.5 seconds, and it runs the quarter mile in about 11.4. So in terms of performance with this car, you basically get Hellcat power and GT350 handling. It's kind of the best of both worlds. And the ZL1 greatness doesn't end there. Now moving on to the interior, you're greeted to all kinds of Alcantara and leather, as well as this carbon fiber on the dash, which is a new option for 2018. As you can see, this one is a 6-speed manual instead of the automatic 10-speed. A few other things worth mentioning. This car does have the heads-up display, which is honestly one of my favorite features on any cars. The ZL1 does come standard with the Bose surround sound system and these ambient lighting here on the doors and on the dash. Depending on what color you option your ZL1, it may or may not come with red seat belts. However, with the mosaic black paint, it does have the red seat belts and the red stitching there on the Recaros. Now, before we get to the driving portion, I did want to go ahead and show off the window stickers so you guys could see all of the fancy options that this one has. So there you go right there for a total vehicle price of $66,000 and some change. $66,000 puts this right up there with Hellcats, so let's go ahead, take her for a spin, and see how she compares, and just see how she overall drives. Alright guys, so back at home in a 6th gen Camaro. This kind of feels a little weird, very familiar. So let's go ahead and take her out for a little spin. Should be a fun one. Alright guys, so setting off in the 2018 ZL1 Camaro. I have very high hopes for this car because I know how good the SS1LE was. And well, this is that on steroids with a supercharger, so can't really go wrong. The initial impressions with this car is that it really does feel very similar to an SS1LE. They're on the same chassis, they have the same tires, same brakes basically, so really they are like very similar, and I'm probably going to reference that 1LE a lot in this video because, well, it's what I had. The 6-speed transmission in this car is buttery smooth, and it's still to this day my favorite transmission on any car available. The Tremec TR6060, beautiful. Taking a corner now with just a little bit of speed, the thing handles like it's on just rails, and this would be such a fun car to go out and do a track day with because it would, well, it would dominate pretty much everything. For around $65,000, you're not going to find anything that's going to touch this car in terms of the straight line performance and the handling. I don't know what else you could really compare to this thing for that price range. So let's see about this supercharger and see what the difference is. Holy crap! that is so awesome. Oh my gosh. Jeez. This car is fast. Wow. I know the A10 is what everybody talks about for the transmission choice, and everyone's like, wow, the 10-speed's so much faster and everything, but I just think that you might be missing a little something because this is so much fun. It's pretty tough to pass this thing up for the price range. If you want something that's fast, can handle well, it's actually pretty comfortable. I wouldn't say it's as like daily drivable as, let's say, a Challenger, just because you do have more space in that car. It's more daily friendly. But if you want something that, you know, you can do the occasional track day with and just have a lot of fun with, well, I would say the ZL1 is probably the right choice for you. It's so tempting to just like floor this thing every chance you get, because it's so easy to drive fast, because it's such a good car, and it's really hard to reach the limits in this thing. You can pretty much do anything you want in this thing, and it makes you feel like Superman, because the car's like, all right, well, we're just gonna take this corner at whatever speed you want, and then we're gonna leave the corner, and then we're gonna floor it, then we're gonna go real fast in a straight line. So the car does everything great, and that's hard to do. Usually cars have their, you know, their strengths, like a Hellcat, their strength is going fast in a straight line, but, well, doesn't really corner very well. This thing does both, and it's really impressive. Now, I'm sure you're asking yourself, Riley, if you think this car is so great, why didn't you get one? Well, because I spend so much time doing highway driving, and I wanted something that was a great daily driver, I feel that the Challenger Hellcat, I would still say, is a better overall daily driver. But if I wasn't driving the car as much as I do, and I wanted something a little bit more sporty, and I didn't own an SS1LE previously, this would have been the car I bought without a doubt. This thing is great. And then, of course, with all 6 gens, you have the downshift rev matching, which is, it's perfect. I mean, shoot, you really could daily drive this car if you want. It's a little bit small, the visibility is not the best, but you do get used to it, and that's coming from somebody who owned a 6th gen. However, I will say with the ZL1, you do get the blind spot monitoring system in the mirrors, so that helps tremendously, especially with that mirror over there. And as I mentioned earlier, you get the upgraded sound system, the fancy lights, the heated and cooled seats. I mean, the car pretty much has everything, and I'm trying to sit here trying to think of something to like say negative about the car, because I always hate doing reviews where all I say is just positive things, and I love the car so much, but it's kind of how I am with this car. I don't really know what to say to knock it. It's great. Also, in this short amount of time that I've spent behind the wheel, the amount of people that have just stopped whatever they were doing and stared at the front end of this car is hilarious, because it is so aggressive and so just menacing, especially in black. But it looks great, it drives great, it's pretty comfortable. Good job, Chevy. And I guess the most important thing about all that is that it's priced great as well. $65,000, yes, that is a lot of money. But if you break it up into financing, and you know, you can squeeze that kind of monthly payment, and you want a fast car that does all of this stuff great, it really is a bargain buy. And since we're on the topic about pricing, let's go ahead and think about what else can you get this motor in. This motor comes in the brand new CTSVs. It comes in the new Z06s. Both of those are, you know, around $100,000. This is $65,000. You get the same motor, same powered, pretty much. I mean, they're all so similar, yet this could be $20,000 to $40,000 cheaper than your next best option. And that to me is like, this is the one you want to buy. It's kind of obvious. Camaros nowadays are just not what they used to be. Now this is a fine sports car that can do everything. And it used to be, well, they had their flaws, but no flaws here. If you ever had the chance to drive one of these, I would be very surprised if you could find anything to fault this car for, because like I said over and over again, the car does everything so well, and it really does make you a better driver because of that. The car is so good, it's almost too good for the everyday driver to be driving on the streets, and you really could only get this car to really like shine over all the other stuff on a track, and that's where it would be a lot of fun. But you can go on a back road and just blast through it with this thing and have the time of your life. So don't try to think I'm faulting it for anything, because definitely not. It's one of the very few cars I've ever reviewed where I can't really say anything negative about it. Chevy did perfect with this thing. So now that we've seen how good the 6th gen platform is, now we get to sit back and wait for the, I guess they're gonna call it the 7th gen Camaro, which should be coming out in a few years. And if this thing is already this good, I can only imagine just how good the 7th gen platform is going to be. But with that being said, I am now going to go hop in a 4th gen and take that thing out for a review. So that should be fun. But thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it even half as much as I did. Seriously, if you ever get the chance to drive one of these things, definitely do so, and you will not be disappointed. Thank you guys for watching the video. I'll see y'all in the next one. Take it easy. It's one of those things, like if Chevy let people test drive these things, which I understand why they don't, but if they did, they'd probably sell more of them because they'd fall in love with them. Well, that was exciting. Now let's drive this.